Welcome back to the imaginary gallery. Carrie, Sissy Spacek. Great story. Tonight's discussion is kind of a follow-up to the entire series involving the dangerous person. The part I figured I would bring up, because we know already that Sandra Brown has already mentioned how these dangerous people can be labeled in multiple ways, meaning they can be considered combo pack people. So, to reiterate, if you're reading the chapter on the permanent clinger, for example, you might read it and hear this and read that and read this and say, oh, the one I know, oh, that's missing, oh, it's not the right one. And then you might go to the second, which is the parental seeker, and you might do the same thing, but then think, well, wait, it does do this, but not that. Well, that's what the combo pack man or woman means, is that these are like generalized types of dangerous people, but many of them overlap. Well, I've had the experience of not only seeing these things overlap, but I've watched almost as if the person involved grabbed this book and saw the different categories and basically picked one and then discarded it, picked another and then discarded it, and it's actually sickening, because we know we're dealing with a toxic person to begin with, but I've had the unfortunate experience to experience someone who starts off, for example, as a permanent clinger, acts like it's a baby, pretty much, and wants to cling to every little thing that I'm involved in. And then I've also had the same person become the next one, which is the parental seeker, which is acting like a stupid kid, so I'm supposed to step in and help out. And then, on top of that, learn later that its behavior is that of the emotionally unavailable person. Because the other stuff is all fake. It's all some kind of facade. And when you're dealing with this kind of person for any length of time, eventually it's inevitable. You start to see the things that do not fit. Like the vegetarian who has hamburgers every few days. Yes. And then the emotionally unavailable we've just covered, but basically that's what the whole thing is. So they adopt these other roles like the clinger or the parental seeker, and then of course it ties right into the person with a hidden life, because if you knew what was going on, you would not be there probably. So when I read these chapters, I'm thinking, okay, I've known somebody who went through every single one of these, and they do, so just so you know. And the mentally ill, of course, that's just a second factor involved, that there's some mental illness, which, depending on who you talk to, we all have some kind. But then the addict as well, which has caused some controversy. But Sandra isn't saying that if you're an addict, you're a narcissist. In fact, she doesn't even use that word. She's saying dangerous. And then, of course, the abusive or violent, which a lot of these different types come in stages. So, for example, the person you meet might start out as a permanent clinger, And then later, you uncover it's emotionally unavailable. And on top of that, it's got a hidden life too. Imagine that. And then, it's mentally ill as well. So it's like a combo pack deluxe. And then it's got an addiction too. It's got to go to the shady lady. It doesn't care. Yes, it loves you and wants to be with you forever, but it has to go to the shady lady's sex booths. It just has to, and you have to accept it. And then the abusive or violent person is, of course, the one that you gather all your details about and say, look, we're having a talk. You claim this, and here's the truth. And then you'll see the abusive part of it. And of course, she mentions the emotional predator, which ties right into the other stuff I just told you, because on many occasions, the emotional predator will prey upon you, and they will select from any number of these techniques to try out on you. And if one doesn't work, they scrap it, and they try another one. You, of course, looking at them, think, is this a real person or a person trying to pretend to be a real person?
Because they try on so many different masks.
So the point of this video is just to sum up the different 8 types of dangerous people, and also bring in the fact that in addition to what Sandra says, that they can overlap and be combo pack, but they can also choose one strategy and then another strategy and then another strategy until the desired result is obtained. And we've talked about before how when they do claim to be a certain way, many times you know what that means to be that certain way, but then you notice behaviors that do not go along with people who are that certain way. And of course, it's fruitless to say, but wait a second. You said you're a this, but you know what? It does not do any good. Just accept the fact that you are dealing with a dangerous person. And yes, you might be tempted to think, okay, well, I know this now. Well, I'm going to keep going through this. It does not make it any better. In fact, it only prolongs the inevitable.
Come on now. You know that I used you. I sure did. And I'm proud of it. Because as I've told you before, everyone uses everyone else. Get used to it.
Are you listening to me? Did you hear that I am the one for you? I am the smartest, most wonderful person you ever meet. Are you paying attention?
I want to talk to you. Look, if you ever tell anyone else that I am a lesbian, you are going to get it. I may be a lesbian on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays, but that ain't none of your business. So keep your mouth shut, or I'll shut it for you.
Hillary Clinton is a lesbian. Hillary Clinton is dying. Hillary Clinton is a murderess. Hillary Clinton is a cunt. Hillary Clinton doesn't care about you. Hillary Clinton cares only about having power and control. She is a psychopath. I'm a narcopath. It takes one to know one. Believe me. Trump is a fuckface too. We're doomed. I'm the narcopath.
I am the narcopath. You probably wonder how or why.
I think I'm the prettiest of all of them, though. What do you think? I'm the most gorgeous of all of the clones.
Please do not fear human cloning. It can be beautiful, can it, sweetie?
Right. Am I the real me? Am I the clone or am I the narcopath? You decide.